Hello folks, welcome to another old bloke building Lego, except today I'm actually talking about Lego, specifically what is my favourite Lego minifigure scale building ever, uh, and what is the criteria for that, and finish the video by revealing what that model is. Um, it's something I've been thinking of doing for a while. I'm sure most of us who are Lego fans uh, have a favourite or favourites perhaps in the Lego range, and that might be any type of Lego. Obviously, the range is so diverse, but this is focusing on buildings, specifically, as I say, minifigure buildings. So, what makes, for me anyway, the ideal minifigure scale building? Well, I guess it's got to look pretty in some form and have a detailed interior. Um, I'm also looking for good modelling on all four sides where that's practical. By that I mean, clearly, if we take the standard Lego modular, then many of them, the majority of them, are really modelled for the front and back, in so much as the sides are meant to be terraced onto the next building. So the sides tend to be little to no detail and quite often will reveal a mixture of colours. Depends on what the interior is. A fireplace will be visible on the outside wall as the colour of the bricks, that sort of thing. I understand why that is, and I ain't complaining about that. Although, like many people, I think that the attention that Lego shows the rear of these terrace buildings could be better. It's all about the front and show, which, okay, my particular display doesn't really matter because the back of the buildings are hidden against the wall anyway. But if you had a sort of city where the back is prominently visible, then I can understand if you were disappointed with the majority of those buildings. However, so I'm looking for something that's probably got detail on all four sides and has a very nice interior. Even though the irony of irony, like many Lego building enthusiasts, how often do you actually look at the interior once you've built it? I suspect not often for most of us. Okay, so to qualify for this criteria, you need to be a Lego building that's made for minifigure scale, and also I'm dismissing any mods out there, because it's something that you should be able to readily buy, at least to fit this criteria. So, for example, the mod I've got here of a pub, I got the instructions from Bricklink. That doesn't count. Nice model though, I think it is. Same with this European Jazz Club, which I purchased just a few months before Lego came out with their own jazz club, but never mind, it's all about the look of the thing. So those two wouldn't count, and my own little Chinese restaurant you might have seen, that doesn't count as it's a mod, and the mod of this lovely botanical gardens, it was in the Friends theme, but it's made from two sets, so that the play set rear has now been filled in. Again, that don't count. I'm not going to count either, much as I love them, these Ninjago city sets. I mean, I think it's fantastic, but it's not really what I think of as a building, and I think most people would agree. It's collections of little buildings, and listen, I ain't knocking this. I think the Ninjago city sets are simply wonderful things, even though I don't know what cyber steampunk and all that actually means. I know what I like, and I think it looks fantastic. Let's also dismiss the things like the Lego lighthouse set. I think it looks fantastic, by the way, but it's not. I'm not calling this a building in the understood sense of the term, so that don't get a look in here, I guess. I'll also, as I'm in such a sweeping mode to dismiss, I'll dismiss one of the most beautiful Lego sets I think it's ever been made, and that's Rivendell. I don't think it meets my criteria in that the back is a bit open, and I don't think of it as a building in the normal sense, but look, it's wonderful. As is the Lion's Night Castle, but once again, I don't know, maybe that should... No, I'm not counting it because I don't want to, or won't. Yeah, the medieval village. Well, yeah, okay, this is nice. It's sort of open back depending how you position the units. And that's okay. So that would be considered, as must the blacksmith's thing, the blacksmith set, medieval blacksmith. I mean, that's got 4 sides. It is modelled on 4 sides. Unusually, I think, for a Lego building, there's no sort of, it looks good from, I think, all corners, that one. So that's a contender. Let's move on. So any of the Lego modulars obviously qualifies for consideration, some more than others. Looking at you, American Diner and Parisian Restaurant, fantastic. Yeah, so, any of these can be considered as a candidate for Lego's finest minifigure scale building, I guess. And yeah, fair enough. We've all got our own favourites and probably pet dislikes, ones that you think, pet shop anybody? Yeah. And then we've got there's 19 or 20 sets I can never remember, and the Lego official icons, or whatever they call them, modular buildings now. But of course, we've got so many other types of sets, some of which we've seen. So the Marvel sets, for example, and particularly the Doctor Strange one, I mean, that is a modular building to my mind, and a very nice one. It just wants something to finish the end off. It's almost a temptation, to go out and buy a second set and mirror image it, so you've got... No, I'm not going to do that, I don't think. And again, the treehouse is a building. It's a buildings in a tree. Yeah, so you could count that one. Just before I show you, anyway, what my personal favourite is, let's just quickly go over some of the sets that I've had and sold, and 1 or 2 contenders which I haven't had, but maybe would be contenders. So let's have a quick look at some of the models I've sold, which are no longer in the running, perhaps. So yeah, the haunted house. I had a fun fair idea to build a fun fair, and I purchased several models, and then realised I didn't really have the space or the enthusiasm for the project. So I nearly kept this with the idea of converting it into something, that could go on the street as a spooky mansion, maybe drop the tower down a bit at night. But on reflection, I decided I wouldn't bother. This one might surprise some of you. You might think it's a natural from his street. It's the Home Alone mansion. And whilst I'm not a big fan of the movie, that's really immaterial, because I thought this was a lovely model, fantastic interior, great functionality. But I had a couple of problems with this one. I didn't really think it would fit in the street in terms of how I tend to, I don't have separate buildings, generally speaking. So it would have stood out a little for that reason. But more importantly, I think it's the snow on the roof and around the outbuildings. It just doesn't fit having snow with my street. And yeah, I could have gone on Bricklink or somewhere and purchased a load of darker bricks, but I couldn't really be bothered. So once again, this had to go. Now, the Simpsons house. I think the designer met the brief perfectly with this. It looks the part, and the reason I sold this one reluctantly is because it's too cartoony. I know it's The Simpsons, of course it's cartoony, and the designers did a great job, but for me it didn't really fit in with the street, so it went. And this was more, I was sadder still to get rid of this one, the Quickie Mart, because, okay, as before, absolutely looks the part, and I think the interior on this is one of the finest, a candidate for the finest interior of any Lego building I've come across. They really caught the show's atmosphere, and if you're familiar with the early Simpsons, back in the day when it was funny, there's so many Easter eggs in this as well. An excellent model, no 2 ways about it. Anyway, that's some of the models I let get away that don't qualify for my favourite all-time building. So let's move on. In the interest of completeness, here's a few models I haven't built, purchased, whatever, that could be contenders. So is the original haunted house from a few years ago. As I say, I've not built these, but it looks interesting. I don't think it would top my yet to be revealed favourite building, but nevertheless, let's mention it. Now this one, yeah, this is one that got away. Well, it's before I was collecting Lego, and every so often I get tempted to buy a copy of this, the firehouse from Ghostbusters. Not a big fan of Ghostbusters, but who cares? What a great model this would be in the street. It might be a bit difficult to fit in because of its dimensions, but I think where there's a will. So yeah, this one is one I consider. Quick mention for the A-frame building. I may purchase this, I'm not sure. It's where it would fit in the street's the issue, but I do quite like it. Again, this looks quite good. The Hocus Pocus thing. I'm not keen on paying for licensing, but who am I kidding? You've seen the Marvel buildings in the street, perhaps, so I'm clearly out there, and Batman for that matter. Yeah, this one might be quite nice. Although I think this is quite cartoony, and also it doesn't meet my criteria in as much as the set is open-backed playset style. There is something about this, the Seven Dwarfs Snow White thing that's come out recently that, yeah, I think it's quite pretty. And then there's this one. Yeah, Welcome to the Apocalypseburg. This is the one set. I think if I could pick any discontinued set and one, I'd look at the price and think I can't pay that. You know, I really can't pay that for a used set. But then again, maybe I could. I just think this could actually top. It's possible. I don't think it would, but this might actually top the model, which I'm picking as my all-time favourite Lego mini-figure scale building. But I think this looks fabulous. Anyway, let's move on and find out what actually is my pick for my all-time favourite minifigure scale building. Okay, so it's time for the big reveal. Just what is my old bloke favourite minifigure scale Lego building? Oh, hang on, just to make the tension even more, whatever. I will point out that the plan for next month's video, yeah, I do plan a video for next month, you know, why not? Best laid plans, etc. Will actually be me having built something. I've not built it yet. It's currently in the post, as they say, but I will say it's going to be a building, yeah, minifigure scale. It won't meet the criteria I've set today in that I'm using two of the same set to build an enhanced version, I hope, of what that set is. So if you're interested in finding out what that might be, perhaps you'd consider subscribing. Now, enough of this delay. It's time to see old bloke's favourite Lego minifigure scale, I can't say that, can I? Minifigure scale building ever to date. Here we go. Okay, so yes, I'm doing it from the back, and it's on the cake stand so I can revolve it. But as I'm sure quite a few of you will recognise this as the 2017 Lego Ideas Old Fishing Store. And this, folks, is my favourite Lego minifigure scale building. I just think it's fabulous. I will quickly point out that this has been taken off the street, literally to put it on the cake stand, and as such the baseboards are not standard. They're modified, and you don't get a little rowing boat Lego, though it is, that doesn't come with the set. So I acquired this used a few years ago in excellent condition, and it's just something about it. Now, my criteria, it's modelled extremely well on all four exterior sides. It's got character. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that's one of the things I think we all like in a good Lego building. It's full of character. I mean, it looks pretty. The choice of colour, is it sage green? Sorry, I'm crap at things like remembering Lego's particular shades, but this use of green with the brown sings to my mind. It just looks fantastic. And the little, the whole character thing where it's got this ramshackle look, you know, the bits of the roof hanging off. The roof's been patched up. It's nautical theme with the 2 or 3 seagulls that come with the set. Just fantastic. And these patches on the roof with the printed tile, the plank of wood. I just love this. It's just full of character. Wonderful. And I like the actual design of the building with this little lookout tower thing, complete with a little telescope there, you know. We'll have a look inside momentarily. But yeah, and the detail, the lovely minifigures. I mean, this sea captain type character here, and the lobsters on Lego ice cubes, you know, I mean, just fantastic. And the fish too, a little anchor there, and the way they've modelled these rocks, and you've got this feeling of being under the boards where the sea would be when the tide's in the sea, and you could walk above on these boards over the sea. I just think this is wonderful. I can't fault this. This is, to me, you know, a real 5 out of 5 model. Oh, another little feature. The idea that because it's so ramshackled, this building, and in need of a bit of TLC, the window's broken. They put a plank over it and they covered it up with a bit of newspaper. I mean, this is the extra mile. And again, that plank is meant to be sort of a bit wonky. It's coming loose, as you'll see elsewhere on the building here. There's just this feeling of, you know, it's run down, but it's functional. Okay, let's take a look inside. So these doors open on the side of the building to give you access. Now, if I just... And I like the way that they split them. We didn't just do one big door, even though inside it's on one floor, but they've done it that way, which I think is quite nice. Inside we've got the most detailed interior. There's fishing rods, there's aqualungs, there's flares, I think, there's fishing baskets. Let's just go over the roof and try and focus a bit better. Just a plethora of things to go fishing with. And there's the cash register and the little counter, and every available bit of space is full. There's boxes of fishing bait, there's floats, there's life buoys. It's just a little map there on the wall. It's absolutely heaving with equipment. Let's see if I can remember how to get into the tower, complete with weather vane on the top. Let's see, I think this came off. Oh yes, I've put lights in this set, as I do most of my Lego buildings. If I can, I'll give you a quick demo of that at the end of the video. So we can, I don't know if you can see him down there, but there's a little floor area. Let's see if we can get down a bit deeper. Now, this does nicely illustrate a problem with putting lights into your Lego models, that you're restricted by the wiring. There's one just coming out to the upper part of the tower, so I can't readily disconnect. But at the base of a tower, you can see there's a little office, reading lamp at the desk and a newspaper, and a way through into the main store. Just lovely. Okay, so roof back on. I'll just point out a little cobweb hidden away under the floor there, if you can see it. Again, so much detail. Let's just shut that up. And there we are. Absolutely gorgeous. Put the roof back on. And you can almost smell the sea air around this model. And look, the little sticker on the door, gone fishing. Boat rentals. It's just full of detail. I think, yeah, Anton, as I recall, Anton's Bait Shop is the name of the son of the designer. He put that on there as I think a lovely little touch. Yeah, so fabulous. Fabulous. And there you are. That's my favourite Lego minifigure scale building. Is it yours? Do you disagree with me? Would you consider it? You got one that you think is far better? Old bloke, stop talking nonsense. What were you thinking? I'm always more than happy to see your comments. And anyway, that's it for today. Let's see if I can find a bit of footage of the lights turned on. I'll put them on the end now. Otherwise, thanks for watching.